Hey girlies, hey gays, hey theys, and welcome back to Live, Laugh, Love Lesbian with your host, Juliet Taylor. I always forget to introduce myself. I always just assume you all know that's me, but I forget that some of you might have only just found the podcast. If you have, hey, welcome. If you're, I just said something. If you're a returning listener, hey, I know we've had 2 weeks off. I did say I probably would have 2 weeks off. I just frankly didn't have time. I have been in Florida for the past 2 weeks, so I do have an excuse. And I didn't take my laptop with me to film on because it was going to add a lot extra weight to my bags. So this is, I'm going to check, I think it's episode 7. Yes, this will be episode 7. Episode 6 came out on July 3rd. Tomorrow will be July 25th, which then it will come out because the episodes come out on Thursdays. So yeah, welcome back, or welcome to Live, Laugh, Love Lesbian. It's a podcast for the girlies, for the gays, for the theys, for the girls who like girls, basically anyone who is a little bit queer, so welcome. We have had a couple of dilemmas being sent in whilst I'm away, so the plan is today I'm going to answer your dilemmas / questions / stories, and basically a new little segment that we're going to have is like a little question of the week, kind of like sometimes it might be like a little like debate, like we'll ask people's opinions on things, but for today we have a question. We had a question, I was going to say last episode, about a few. I asked you all who would be your like gender swap to make it like a queer couple in a musical, and I asked your worst dating stories. I'm sure I did another one as well. Oh, I can't remember. But anyway, the one for this week is, if you were to introduce someone to Chappell Roan, the singer, what would your song of choice be? Like if someone said, who's Chappell Roan, what's their music like, and you had to say, oh, let me play you a song, what would be the first song you would play? So I'll tell you all this funny story as well. So before I knew who Chappell Roan was, the first video I saw of Chappell Roan, it was a TikTok, and basically it was someone in a church like ringing the bells, and it was like, Happy Pride Month, here's Chappell Roan, and I was like, what is this? I just assumed, like, with it being chapel, it was something like churchy, because obviously they were ringing the bells, which happened in a church or a chapel. I don't know, but I was like, I'm so confused. And then did some further investigations, and I think was it Hot to Go that had been everywhere? I think so. So then I heard that, and then Taylor was like, oh, that's Chappell Roan, and I was like, what? I was so confused. Like, I thought Chappell Roan was like some thing they played in church, and she's like, no, it's a singer. And then I watched the video back, and I think the person in the church was Ding Dong and Hot to Go, and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So the first song I technically heard of Chappell's was Hot to Go. But yeah, on TikTok, I only made this video like literally an hour ago because it kind of just came to me, and I was like, that's a really good like segment for the podcast to start off with, like a little question or debate of the week. So I'm going to tell you everyone's answers. It's not that many because, like I said, I only just posted the TikTok because I didn't have this idea sooner, but next week I'll post the TikTok a lot sooner, so you can all comment your answers. So my TikTok is Juliet Francis T, Juliet with a T and an E, so 2 T's, not like Romeo and Juliet. Let's see if there has been a few new comments. Cool. So let's see what everyone's introduction to Chappell Roan song would be. So first up we have Kaleidoscope. Somebody says probably Red Wine Supernova. Oh, and in this TikTok I did say that the only Chappell Roan song that I sort of don't like and would skip is Casual, and someone just commented, you skip Casual with the question mark, and I'm probably going to get hate for that, but that's just the only one that is sort of not my favourite. And then this person continued to say, I'd probably play Red Wine Supernova because it's so popular and upbeat, but I think Casual is insane, especially her vocals in the end, but it would depend on the person. I think that's so true, it depends on the person that you're going to be playing the song to. But yeah, I do skip Casual, and I know people are going to hate on me for that, but I don't know, I just think it's a bit, it just doesn't get going, the beat doesn't pick up. Next person says Casual, it's obviously a popular song, or Naked in Manhattan, I love that one. Someone else says, my fave is Naked in Manhattan, but I would introduce them with Hot to Go. And final person says Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl. Oh my god, did anyone else see that TikTok of someone saying what Chappell Roan songs would make it onto Glee and who would sing them? I found that really funny. But yeah, so that was everyone. So what was the most commented? Was it Casual or Red Wine Supernova? Okay, I think Casual and Red Wine Supernova both had 2 votes each. See, I was thinking because to me, the two sort of most popular songs are Hot to Go and Pink Pony Club. I don't know what I would. I think it would depend on the person. I just asked Taylor, and she said her go-to would be Red Wine Supernova too. So maybe that's like the most popular one. I do love that one. But I don't know why I don't know. But if I was, say, I was going to play one to my mum, I'd probably. Oh my god, I actually don't know. I love Pink Pony Club. I love Hot to Go. I love them all. I don't know. But anyway, that was our little question of the week. So make sure to tune in on my TikTok. I don't know when it will go live, whenever I think of the question each week. But yeah, if you want to sort of take part in this little segment, you can come onto my TikTok, comment on the question of the week, and then your response will be read out on the episode. But for now, let's properly get into this week's episode. Okay, so we're going to get straight on in with the dilemmas. I have not read any of these, so they could be questions, they could be stories, they could be dilemmas, but we're just going to get straight on into it. So first one, it's quite a long one, so let's hope I don't stumble over my words because last time I was terrible at doing that. So we have, I recently came out to my friends as gay. I've known I was gay forever, but married a man, in brackets, assumed I was bi, close brackets. He never knew I was bi when he married me. Anyway, the marriage was tough. It lasted 14 years and we had 2 kids. Wow. That's me saying wow. And I feel like I tried everything to save it, but it ended. And I was very much done with it and ended it. Anyway, one of my friends is struggling that I never told her I was gay. All the way through my marriage, it wasn't relevant as I was just trying to survive my hideous marriage. But she's so gutted and disappointed in me for not being honest with her. Literally no one knew apart from my husband, and it wasn't a major deal. I'm now in the most amazing relationship with a woman, and she's still struggling, unsure what I can. Wait, I'm confused, I read that wrong. Now in the most amazing relationship with a woman, and she's still struggling, unsure what I can do, but don't want to lose her as a friend. Oh, the friend is struggling. I thought you meant your new relationship is struggling. Yeah. Unsure what I can do, but don't want to lose her as a friend. To add to this, we are all Christians, and she's battling that too, as the Bible supposedly says it's not okay to be gay. Brackets, I believe it doesn't say that. Close brackets. Anyway, please be kind. I do love this friend, and I'm trying to be as patient as I can. Any advice welcome. Okay, I just took a second, read that through again, and sort of digested the information. I think as far as it goes for the friend, I understand you've obviously said that you guys are Christian, and obviously the friend believes it does say that's not okay to be gay, and you believe it does say it's okay to be gay. If I had a friend, Christian or not, who didn't accept me for who I am, I would just automatically distance myself from them, because it's not worth you having to feel like you have to like hide part of yourself around this friend. I know obviously you said you've been friends for a long time and you do obviously get on. I think it's just sometimes you have to cut your losses, because I know what it's like to be around people who sort of don't accept who you are, and you have to like be careful what you say, and it's so mentally draining for you, and you've already been through so much. You know, you've been in that marriage, was it 14 years, sort of hiding your true identity, and now you're finally dating an amazing woman who you're having such a great relationship with, and then your friend says, do you want to go out for coffee, and you're like, yeah, sure, and you feel like you can't talk about being gay because yeah, it's just, I don't think it's fair that you have to sort of feel like that. And the fact that she's saying like she's disappointed in you for not being honest, and it's like you obviously weren't comfortable to tell this friend. I don't blame you because they're acting like this, but it's no one else's right to know. You know, it is you, it's your thing. If you didn't feel comfortable to tell other people, then nobody has the right to be mad or disappointed. Obviously you were scared to come out, you were married to a man, you have 2 children. It's not like the easiest thing to come out and say, even if you didn't have that situation. It's so hard to come out as gay because you never know how people are going to react. Yeah, I think for the person to say that they're like disappointed in you and oh, I'm gutted you didn't tell me, it's like, okay, well, I'm sure there's things that you've never told me that are like very personal and something that you wouldn't just go around like blurting out to people. So I think personally you maybe just need to have like a sit down with this friend. Obviously you seem like you are close because you've been friends for a very long time, But I think you just need to sit down with this friend and be like, okay, listen, if you cannot accept me for who I am, you don't need to end the friendship, but you could just be like, this friendship is gonna have to change. You can say, because the thing is, what if you're like out with your friend and she's like, say your boyfriend's called Johnny, and she's like, oh, me and Johnny are going out tonight, and you're like, oh my god, no way, me and Susie are going out tonight. It's going to be so awkward for you. I think you definitely just need to sit down and say, look, you need to either be able to accept me for who I am, and what happens when you get married to, I don't know, let's call her Susie. What happens when you get married to Susie? That's the name of my car. And then, do you invite her? Do you not invite her? Because I feel like she'll be mad either way. You don't invite her, she'll be like, I can't believe you didn't invite me to your wedding. And you invite her to your wedding and she'll be like, oh, I can't believe you're getting married to a woman and you didn't tell me that you were gay for 14 years. Do you know what I mean? It's a lose-lose for you. So I think you just need to sit down and be like, listen, this is me, this is who I am, it's something about me that I cannot change. You're like, fair enough if you got a pierce and that she didn't like, but even then, your body, your choice, you can do whatever you want and it's none of her business really. But I think you just need to sit down, lay the cards out on the table. Me and, what are you? Are you Susie or is he Susie? Oh my god, is she Susie or are you? Can't remember what names I gave you both. But anyway, you can say, we're together, we're very happy, and if you can't accept that, then that's on you, and this friendship is going to have to, take a step back, because it's really not worth it for your mental health to be, dealing with someone like that, and you're having to like pussyfoot around everything you say because you're worried that your friend's going to like flip out. But I am genuinely, like, my heart goes out to you, and I'm sorry that you're in this sort of situation, because I can't imagine it's a nice one to be in. But yeah, sending you so much love, and send another, like an update, and if anything changes. And I really hope, hopefully after a conversation, if oh my god, I can't speak today, if she sees that she's like genuinely upset you, she might, change her ways. Okay, next up we have more of a question, and it says, how did you know you were a lesbian and not bi / have you ever liked men? I love this question. This is so fun. You know what, I don't know, but it's kind of like I said to you guys on like the first episode, I don't really know when it was that I decided that I was lesbian. I think I said it was like TikTok and just like preferring watching like do you remember when everyone was making thirst trap TikToks in lockdown, and like the men's ones I was like, ugh, and the women's ones I was like, ooh, I like this. And then I told you the story of my Tinder was set to men, and then I thought, I'm going to put it on men and women, and then I got to the point where every time I saw a man it made me physically sick, so I was like, let's get it just on women. But it's a good question, and I feel like for the first sort of start of my time being gay, I didn't really tell anyone that I was a lesbian or I was bisexual. Just sort of said, oh, I think I just sort of went down like the gay route, because the thing is, I don't really feel like you need to label yourselves. Obviously, I'm sat here with a podcast saying Live, Laugh, Love Lesbian, but I don't think you need a label to feel a part of the community, because so many people aren't quite sure what they are, what they identify as. They just know that they're not 100% straight. I think for me, it's knowing that I can look at a man and think, attractive. I know some lesbians absolutely cannot, but it's never any deeper than that. I do not want to know what's underneath them trousers. I do not want to see you with your shirt off. Like, that does not attract me in the slightest. And I feel like if you were bi, it probably would. So I feel like maybe that's a telling sign of how to know. And like, I've always been just like more attracted to like female characters on TV shows. Like, I've always preferred women to men. Just had a really good idea. This is going to be the question of the week next week. So I'll make a TikTok about it, and anyone feel free to comment your answers. Or if you don't want it to be public, go onto the Google form, which I'll put in the description of the podcast, and you can send it in anonymously and just put like question of the week answer or something, and then I'll read it out from there as well, because I know some people won't want to put that information publicly. Yeah, I think for me it is just knowing that there's like nothing apart from like an initial, like, I can appreciate if a man is good looking, if he's handsome, but it goes no deeper than that. And I don't want to marry a man, do you know what I mean? It's not for me. Okay, we're on our final dilemma of the week, and it's a good one. it's a bit juicy. So we've got one of my close friends has told me that they like me, but the feeling isn't reciprocated. I don't know how to tell them this without making it awkward or ruining the friendship. That is tough. Thankfully, I've never been in a situation like this because I'm such a people pleaser. I'd just be like, oh my god, I like you too, and then be stuck in that relationship for the rest of my life because I'm such a people pleaser. Let me have a think, collect some thoughts, and I'll come back to you. I think, now you might think this is completely awful advice and not want to take it, and that is absolutely fine. But I think what I would do, so this is my advice to you because I think it's what I would do, is try and take it down like the funny route. Do you know what I mean? If they're like, you know, say I'm the friend and they go, Sally, I think I'm in love with you, and you're like, ha, yeah, me too, mate, like totally in love with you, like, do you know what I mean? Like, sort of like play it down and try and like make a joke out of it, or be like, you know, like, oh, I could never be in love with you, like, oh, you're totally not my type, like, just try and make it funny. Obviously you don't want to be rude, but I feel like try and like make a joke of it and be like, oh my god, yeah, like, bestie, we're in love, oh my god, like, I love you, bestie. Just, I don't know, I feel like it depends on the friendship and if your friend will take that well. But it's hard, isn't it, because you don't want to ruin the friendship by telling your friend that the feeling isn't reciprocated. Another piece of advice, again, you might think this is awful advice, is it worth like going on a date and seeing how it goes and seeing if potentially there is something romantic there? I feel like it is so much harder when it's like a same-sex couple instead of like a boy and a girl, because typically, generally, you know, girls are friends with girls and boys are friends with boys, and you don't get too many like, what's the word, intersex friendships. So I think it's easy to distinguish what's platonic and what's opposite platonic, romantic. Is that right? I don't know. But do you know what I mean? It's more obvious to tell, okay, this is a friendship and this is something romantic. Yeah, I feel like I would go down the funny route. I try and laugh it off, you know. I think I'm in love with you. Yeah, I'm in love with you too. Why am I so bad at acting? It's also nearly 11 o'clock and I'm very jet lagged, but I was like, I need to get this episode filmed for you all. So if I sound quiet and tired, that is why. Yeah, I think my best advice would be sort of make a joke out of the situation. Obviously, keep it really light-hearted so you and your friend don't fall out, or explore it, see if there's something there. You know, potentially as well, this friend obviously thinks that they like you. They could go on a date with you and be like, oh my god, how did I ever think this was the case? And they might be like, right, actually that was disgusting. I could never see you like that. You're my best friend. I don't want to do anything romantic and intimate with you. And then you can laugh about it for forever, and then you both get married in years to come and you're like, oh my god, do you remember when like we fancied each other? And you're like, haha, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully one of those situations will work for you. But again, feel free to like let us know how it goes. I'd love little updates. I know how everyone's lives are, but we love you, we're here for you, and hopefully your friend takes the rejection well. Okay guys, I was just going to move on to our queer icon of the week, but I've just checked my TikTok and we have had some new comments added. So Florence says California and love me anyway. Don't know why I'm telling you everyone's names now because I didn't tell you everyone's names earlier. Fia says femininomenon. Why did I say that? Femininomenon. I feel like you can only say it like femininomenon. It sounds so much better like that. I do love that song. That person looks like Fiorenza from... Oh, I just opened the TikTok. That person... Okay, it's not you. The person that you're dating, Fia, in the profile picture looks like Fiorenza. And Jazz says, my fave is super graphic, ultra modern girl. I feel like, again, that just sounds better being like, super graphic, ultra modern girl like me. I love that one, but I don't think it would be the one you need to listen to this. I feel like Femininomenon is a great one because it's sort of like, it's very... I don't know what my reasoning is of how I would choose songs, but I think... I'm still trying to think what my song would be. I'm going to go look at all her songs and I'm going to tell you an answer. Okay guys, you know what? I've just like read through the list of all the songs And the one that I'm like singing in my head is A Feminine Arm. So maybe that means that would be like my go-to song, because it gets in your head, and I just love it. Get it on like Papa John. I just think that's so funny because it just makes me think of Papa John's pizza. I don't know if that's why she wrote that line, but it does make me giggle. But anyway, so that is my answer to the question of the week, only 20 minutes later. So, our queer icon of the week is, of course, going to be Chappell Roan. I mean, who else after we've literally spent the whole episode talking about Chappell? Okay, so we've literally Wikipedia'd Chappell Roan. Just in case anyone wants to know a little bit more about her, let's find out. So, Chappell's real name is Kaylee Rose, am I going to say this right? Amstutz. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Born February 19th, 1989. Her aesthetic is heavily influenced by drag queens, and her music and performing style have been described as campy. Never heard anything be described as campy before, like camp, but not campy. So, I can't speak. Cultural impact is one of the little drop downs that Wikipedia put up, so let's have a look at that one. It says, Roan's success has led her to being called a queer pop icon, a superstar in the making, and a visionary performer. Roan is being credited with leading a lesbian pop renaissance on the music charts and within the cultural zeitgeist, whatever that is. Roan's music brought the concept of compulsory heterosexuality into the forefront of mainstream pop. She's been praised for her unapologetic authenticity and expression of her queerness and femininity in her music and live performances. Need to take a breath. Inspiring young women to embrace their own sexuality. She's also been applauded for her image, and then in quotation marks, rejecting the male gaze within the pop landscape. But I genuinely think she's epic. I think her music is insane. Really wanted to go to the tour. Kind of didn't realise tickets were going on sale. Don't even know where she's going to be playing, but if anyone has, I'll even take a single. Taylor can stay at home. If anyone has even a single Chappell Roan ticket going, please let me know. If you have to, I'm sure Taylor would love to come. She would love to come along. She'd be fuming if I went without her, because she'll probably tell you that she's the reason I listen to Chappell Roan, because I just thought it was a church bell pulling thing until I actually realised. And to be honest, I just want to sing and dance Hot to Go, like in a room full of people who are also singing and dancing Hot to Go. I try and like listen to her songs and be like, what one can I use like in a dance competition? Like what can I choreograph to? But a lot of them are either inappropriate or they swear or both. So I have choreographed to Renee Rapp. One of my dancers has danced it in the kitchen. You know what, all my dancers, they were like, we have a shout out on the podcast, so if you're listening to this, girls, here is your shout out. Hello. They were like, can we be on the podcast? And I was like, are any of you a lesbian? They were like, no. And I was like, then no, you cannot come on the podcast. But I do still have some really cool guests lined up. I actually need to message them and be like, what day can you film on? But we should have some really cool guests coming up soon, because I know the past two episodes have just, I think the past few episodes have just been me literally blabbing on for 30 minutes of your time. So if you listen to the whole thing, thank you so much. I actually love doing it. I love just chatting, and we are so close to 1,000 downloads. When we get 1,000 downloads, I feel like we'll have to do something special. What can we do? Should we have a party? Does everyone want to come to Newcastle and we'll party to Chappell Roan? Shall we? I don't know. Let's comment ideas on my TikTok or message me ideas for our 1,000 download celebration. I know like it's such a small number, but to me to have like 1,000 people be listening, and obviously that's the download number, so there could be more people listening. It blows my little mind. But yeah, I will stop talking to you all, because I know people are probably thinking, oh my god, when is this over? Oh, I can't speak. When is this over? I don't know how people are still listening when I trip over my words constantly, but I just love this. Like, I missed doing it when I was away, and was like, the first thing I was like, as soon as I got home, I was like, I can't wait to podcast again. And this episode will come out in it's just changed. I was going to say it's going to come out in exactly an hour and a half, but now it's going to be exactly 1 hour, 29 minutes, because the time just changed. So I'm going to end this, I'm going to go edit the podcast, and I'm going to upload it, and then hopefully next week we'll have hit 1,000 downloads. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, leave me a 5-star rating, and stay gay. Love you all. Bye.